One of the most important things you can do as a non-executive director is to help the executives to think and to help them to look over the errors that they've made and to learn from them. But it's really quite tricky to do it and not sound like you've mounted some sort of witch hunt or are criticising their thinking. Now, sometimes criticism is required, but the executive team have to be listening in order for that criticism to be useful. So how do you, as a non-exec, come across as somebody who is inquiring and questioning without accusing? Well, there are a couple of tips that I can give you to make that more likely, that you can indeed try today. The first is to avoid just one question. There is one question which sets people's teeth on edge. You can't help but do it if you use the word why. It has a particular loading, a particular property which makes people feel hunted down. Let me give you a daft example. That's a really nice car you've bought. Why did you decide on a Toyota? In there is the tacit questioning of your thinking process. It's so much worse when it's turned into, the numbers aren't looking too great this month. Why did you decide to back off on the sales drive? Now, I might be curious, but the why in that instance sounds terrible and accusatory. So ask another question. What was your thinking behind that? What were you hoping for when you did X, Y, Z? So here's the second tip, and this is about the difference between a real question and a fake question. What do I mean? A real question is after more information, is after clarification. A real question is looking to open up the conversation and to inform you. A fake question is a criticism in disguise. And if you've ever given a presentation, and I'm sure you have many times, you will know from experience that it is easy to spot a criticism disguised as a question. Those sound like, for example, are you saying that XYZ would happen if dun 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 dun? That's not really a question. It's questioning your model, your prediction. It's throwing into doubt some of your thinking. So if you have a criticism, make it. I'm worried about the way the numbers are starting to look, particularly in view of your projections or whatever. And if you have a question about the numbers, ask it. Remembering rule number 1, avoid why. The numbers seem to be heading down. Are you worried about this? What's your thinking about how to counteract that? How do you think that's come about? What's been happening? And that way, it is unlikely that your questions are going to be misunderstood as intrusive or pejorative probing. And that is how to open up the conversation with the executive team to get them to respond to questions and inquiries so that you and the rest of the board really know what's going on. Have a good one.